Morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Scott. How you doing this morning?
Fine, sir. How about you?
I'm doing the better. Couldn't stand it. Like a hair on a biscuit.
Morning, Judge.
Hey, good morning. How's everybody?
Doing fine.
Wonderful.
Morning, Gina.
Just 1 second. Can you all hear me well?
I can hear you.
All right.
Yes.
I know Gina's having some tech problems. Gina's in the chat, said her tech is on the way. She's unmuted, but I'm not hearing her. I think we're experiencing some tech issues as well. John's working on being able to hear Phil, get him connected. It's a bad tech Wednesday.
It's all good until it's not.
Yes.
We want to hold here and until John and Gina are thumbs up. Scott.
We can see you now, Phil. No audio, though.
Hold on just a second. Let me check something for you, Phil.
What's up, Jake? See?
1, 2, test, test.
It's working?
Yeah.
Give that a try. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And I think we got Gina's audio fixed as well.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there you
Thank you,
go.
Mike.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
It's okay. We had some problems on our end too.
All right. Before we call this to order, do we anticipate the need for an executive session during general counsel updates?
No.
Okay. With that said, then let me call our meeting to order. This is the Georgetown Scott County Revenue Commission meeting. It's Wednesday, October 22nd. This is a 10 a.m. regularly scheduled meeting. And I'd like to call the roll. Let the record reflect that Joe Pat Covington was present. Mayor Jenkins, you acknowledge being present, and then Gina Amos is the proxy for Superintendent Billy Parker. That said, then we do have a forum and we can conduct business and take action. First item we have is the approval of minutes from our last meeting, which were 9/17/2025. These were shared electronically with you. For your review. Do you have any questions or comments related to those minutes as presented?
I have,
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll go into general council updates. Phil,
Good morning, everyone. You may recall last month we discussed a lease proposal. Late September, that was forwarded over to the water company for review and consideration. At this point, we're still waiting to hear back from them on their position on that. I would expect that we would have more information for you on that issue at next month's meeting.
sounds good. Any questions? Any other information that needs to be shared from this agenda item? All right, then we will move on, John, to tech updates.
Morning, everyone. So a couple of updates for the from the technology side. The biggest one being we have finally been able to switch over to a .gov domain that includes our website and email addresses. So our new domain is gscrevenueky.gov. We are still maintaining all of our .com domain instances. It just everything's set up with redirects. So if anybody goes to our old website, it automatically brings you over to the .gov. Same thing with email. If anybody emails our old .com, it automatically goes through to whoever it was initially addressed to. We are going to maintain that .com just for safety's sake, prevent anybody from squatting, picking up that domain and trying to spoof us. And then with the .gov, it comes with some added security. We're able to add on a layer of encryption. Also creates a greater level of trust and authority when anything comes from our website. And it's going to enable us to do a few more things when it comes to building out our website and syncing up our domain with our database so that we can allow for smoother e-filing and allow taxpayers to actually have access to their account and be able to see what's going on with their net profit withholding accounts from the website. With that, we've also started working with KLC to make some improvements to that website. They're going to work on a redesign over the next few months. So we'll be showing a completely new layout, some new images with that just to bring it up to date, make it a little bit more modern. And let's see, the last thing is we just completed our first phishing test through Secure Breach. With that, everyone within our organization was tested on that, received some varying emails depending on how advanced the security features were that were set up. Pretty much everyone passed it. There was one that we need to go back and do some more training with. But all in all, I think it was a successful test. A lot of people demonstrated the what they learned from the cybersecurity training that they went through this back in September.
Any questions or comments? Appreciate all that update. And, it seems like we're moving forward with some important improvements. We will move into number 6. Turn it over to Scott to discuss these two new funds.
Thank you, Judge. see here. Double click. There we go. All right, so we have two refunds in excess of $10,000 for this month. The first one here is $21,923.00. You can see the city, county, and school board splits there. The reason for this net profit tax refund request for tax year 2024 is due to the taxpayer's estimated net profit tax payments exceeding the actual net profit tax liability for tax year 24. This created a large credit balance on the account, and the taxpayer has requested a full refund of that credit balance. After a full audit review of the account, the Revenue Commission staff recommendation to the commissioners is that you approve tax refund $21,923.
Any questions or comments related to this? Would there be a
So, yes, so moved.
motion from
I'll second that.
Gina Amos? Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We have a second one.
Yes, this one's a little bit more complicated at a much bigger dollar amount. This is also a net profit tax refund request for tax year 2024. It's $107,980.00. You can see the city, county, and school board splits. And the anomaly here is that the school board portion of the refund request is more than the city and county combined, which is very unusual. But this is the reason. There are actually two errors that the taxpayer did with this particular net profit tax filing. The first one, their estimated net profit tax payments, like the last one, far exceeded their actual net profit tax liability for tax year 2024. And then the second error they made was when calculating the estimated net profit tax liability, it appears that the taxpayer mistakenly calculated school board tax rate at a rate that resulted in a higher school board estimated tax that's actually 2.5 times larger than the city and or the county. It appears that the taxpayer may have used the tax rate of 5% instead of 0.5%. So that would make moving that decimal point would make a huge difference, and that's what happened here. The taxpayer actually requested a portion of the credit, so it was actually a larger amount than this, to be held on account for the 2025 net profit tax liability, and the remaining balance we're talking about here to be refunded. We did do a completed audit review of the account, and in fact, the analyst has also reached out to the company to make sure that they do not make this mistake moving forward, and we get these errors corrected. But after review of the account, it is our recommendation to the commissioners to approve this refund request.
Making a motion to approve the request for the repayment.
I'll second that as well.
Okay, we have a second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That said, we'll move to 7 and discuss for general discussion.
All right. So there is a Cabinet for Economic Development report for the month of September. I'll share it with you here. Can everybody see it there?
Mhm.
Okay, so VUTEC has two projects. One is a KEIA project, which has nothing to do with occupational tax. That has received final approval, but they also have a preliminary approval on a KBI project, which could potentially mean some wage credits with those projects. It's preliminary, so it's in the very early stages, but it is good news because as you see here, it's 117 new jobs. So that's a significant expansion for that local company. So we'll look forward to more information on that in the coming months. But again, preliminary is very early stages. It'll be a while before they'll probably have final approval, but I wanted to make you aware of that.
Thank you. It's good news.
Okay, so let's go back over here to general discussion. The KLC Fall Conference was last month. I was only there for the board meeting on the 23rd. I actually drove up the night of the 22nd, spent the night, and then attended the board meeting. There was some discussion there on centralized collection, which I'll get into here in a few minutes, but otherwise it was pretty much uneventful. They presented their agenda. One of the things that I did want to mention is on that agenda, then the upcoming session is there is talk about increasing the bidding level from 40,000 to 60,000. So it'll be interesting to see. That's going to be a KLC initiative for local government that will come up in the upcoming session as well. And then after the board meeting, I drove to Louisville for the COLA conference. It was the same week. That went very well. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday were great. I gave a presentation on customer service. It was Phil's first opportunity to have a full-blown COLA. Also, Michelle Disney was there all 3 days, as well as our office manager, Pam Jones. So we had a good representation there. Denny did come for one day. But I'll just kind of open it up to Phil and John at this point if they want to share some of their main takeaways and kind of explain why this is so important and the value of us going every year to this. John or Phil, who'd like to go first?
For simplicity, I'll go first. I enjoyed the conference. It's good to hear some different perspectives on collection ideas of occupational tax. Many of the jurisdictions throughout the state face some of the same problems, and it's interesting to hear different perspectives on how they resolve those issues. I enjoyed the presentation by our colleagues in Louisville about how they handle collection, and I've already opened up a dialogue with one of their collection managers on those issues so that I can take from that some steps that we might implement here in the months ahead. So very good conference. It's good to hear different perspectives and to make some contacts that can be beneficial going forward.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, and to piggyback off what Phil said, I agree. It was a great conference. It was good to be able to meet with some of our counterparts across different jurisdictions and collaborate with them, kind of look at some of the issues they're facing and how it relates to what we've been dealing with. For me personally, I got a lot of great ideas for moving forward with developing our database as well as our website, and just ways to kind of bring it into the 21st century and modernize a lot of what we're doing.
Thank you, John. Yeah, I think it was very good conference this year. And Louisville had a heavy presence, obviously, because they were hosting. So we saw a lot of different aspects of Louisville's operation, and they're a very modern operation, as you would expect, and they invest a lot of money in that. And we can have some good takeaways that could be applicable for us. As far as centralized collections, I had sent an email to all the commissioners last week. There was last month, the proponents were asked to come speak on centralized collection. They were asked a lot of very difficult questions. Yesterday, I was in the Capitol for the Interim Joint Committee on Local Government. We were invited, some members, myself and other members of COLA were invited to offer technical assistance if any questions happen. Essentially, KLC was presenting their legislative agenda for the upcoming session, but then KLC and KCO gave a joint presentation outlining our opposition to centralized collection. That went very well. There were no questions from the committee, which was a little bit surprising. Commissioner Flannery had Commissioner Chairman Flannery had some comments at the end, but there was not one question directed to KLC, KCO, or any of us at COLA. So we took that as a very positive step and just wanted to let you know what the latest and greatest was on that, and obviously be able to answer any questions you may have regarding centralized collections.
I hope it's DOA and doesn't get me any backing, but we'll have to keep a very confident Keiko's going to approach it.
Okay. The KJRA project for one of our large employers, that payment was made on time, as we always do, and it's payments plural because they invoice the city and the county separately for that. And that's the same amount every month. So that did happen in September. Do want to share with you the individual compliance updates. It was another very good month. If I can get it to pull up here. There we go. So for September, Phil, our general counsel, had in excess of $33,000 in delinquent account collections. 78% of that was net profit. Tammy Cool, our senior auditor, was over $31,000, and 66% of that was also net profit. Michelle Disney, our tax compliance analyst, was over $7,000, and 67% of that was net profit. And Denny Rice, our tax compliance analyst, $44,000, and 81% of that was payroll tax withholding. So another $100,000 month, over $116,000 actually for September. And another thing to note on this is Phil and Michelle were in at COLA 3 days, so they were out of the office 3 days. Denny came up for 1 day, and of course Tammy was helping hold down the fort here when the rest of us were at the conference with some of our other teams. So that's a pretty remarkable collections for delinquent accounts for this month, especially considering there were some days out of the office for some of us. So want to commend the team on that.
Yes, good, good. Thank you. Good work.
All right. So that takes us to the electronic payment summary. As you can see there, that was $84,590 of our collections for the month came in over the web, 100% of it over the web. 60% of it was net profit, 36 was payroll tax, and then 4% of it this month was regulatory fees. A lot of regulatory fees came due, which is an annual fee in the month of September. So a big chunk came in for that. As you can see, as is always the case, well over 80% of it is the e-check method that most taxpayers choose, and about 17% is credit cards and debit cards. Any question on the electronic payment summary?
No.
All right. That'll take us to monthly collection stats. As you can see below, September overall, we were down about 15%, but as you can see, the city and county were actually up a little bit. The city was up about 2%. The county was up just under 1%, but the school board was down significantly. And John, you dug into that and found some things that may have contributed to that for the month of September. Was one particular employer that we had an issue with some payroll tax?
It was net profit estimated
Net profit.
payments. And yeah, in 2024, they were submitting their net profit payments as 33. And then in 2025, they've corrected that issue, but that's why there's such a discrepancy between the school and the city and county on those.
Okay. So, but it did put us down overall for the month about 0.6% or $36,000. And then I will pivot over to the quarterly collection stats on that for you. And you can see where we stand so far for the quarter. So for the quarter, we were down the first quarter of this fiscal year, 194,000. That's where we stand. We did have that large payment in July, and then we were actually up about over 300,000 in August, but September we were down again just a little bit, as we just talked about. So for the city, we've collected 9.9 million so far this fiscal year. At the same point last year, we were at 9.9. So they're running down about $5,500. County, same situation. What we had collected so far last year versus this year, down about $36,000. And then because of that large discrepancy with that one net profit return, the school board's down 152,000. So, and then this line here, of course, is what we actually distributed. What we distributed to this city this year versus what we distributed this same time last year. You're actually up a little bit, a couple $100, but the county's down 56,000 versus what we distributed the same time last year. And again, the school board down about 238,000 in what we actually have distributed. And that's largely driven by the large refund we talked about earlier. So any questions on the quarterly stats thus far?
Just was gonna ask, have you seen any, like absence in payments from regular employers that perhaps we've seen in the past, or we miss it, like sometimes we get one payment in a month and then the next month it's made up. Is that been the case on any of these reportings?
Well, I think what we're
Actually,
seeing, and John, you can speak to this. Go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say, with the employer payroll withholding, we were able to track down an employer that, as of June, just stopped paying. We've gotten that corrected, so they actually started submitting payments again this week, so we should be able to get that caught up. And it's not our largest employer by any means, but they do a significant amount of payroll withholding. And then also we took a look at net profits with the IRS FEMA declaration. And with that, for our active accounts that filed a 23 net profit return, roughly 40% had yet to file their 2024 as of October 1st this year. And then for the accounts that began operations in 2024, over 2/3 had yet to file their 2024 net profit return. So there's a lot of net profits still hanging out there as of October 1st.
And the deadline for that is coming in November, correct?
November 3rd, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll reconvene in November and see what presents itself. But appreciate that additional information, because I think that does share the total story on our gross collections.
Well, and I'll add too, we've had some discussions and John, you can correct me if I misstate anything here, but we are noticing, although this is anecdotal, what we have received thus far in returns, we're seeing a lot more loss returns. So which could indicate, and some of the ones that I'm seeing in terms of refunds, like we mentioned with the two large ones, there are others that are below the $10,000 threshold where they overestimated on their payments. In other words, they didn't have 24 was not as good a year as they anticipated they would have. And then you couple that with a lot of the loss returns we're seeing this year, businesses reporting a loss for 24. We may be looking at a situation there where businesses just did not have a very good year in 2024. Now, as John mentioned, there's still a large number of returns to be sent in, and many of those, because of the deadline, are probably the ones that do owe us money. So we may make some of that up later in the year, as we talked about since the FEMA disaster declaration. But it's anecdotal, but that is something we are watching very closely. You know, when we do finally get a net profit return, what is it telling us?
Appreciate it very much.
Okay. So a little bit more information about the month of September. As you can see down here, we had 71 new accounts and only 19 closed. That's compared to 58 and 13 the same month last year. That puts us right now at 901 new accounts in this calendar year, and 287 closed. As compared to last year at this time, we were at 902, so we're almost dead even there, but we're significantly lower in the number of accounts that are closed. We're averaging 100 new accounts per month in the first 9 months of this year, so we will easily exceed 1,000 again this year by the end of December, and we're averaging only 32 accounts per month closed. So that's our new and closed account summary there with the September data added in. And then the last page here is just a cumulative data. I update all these numbers. I thought we might break 11,000 this month, but it didn't happen. We're still a few short, but probably next month we'll be reporting open active accounts in excess of 11,000. Any other questions on the general discussion items?
None from me.
Okay, that'll take us back over to the agenda. So our next regularly scheduled meeting would be November 26th. That is a holiday week. That is actually the day before Thanksgiving. That usually doesn't work for everyone. So don't know if you want to do it a week early, or we may be able to do Monday or Tuesday of that same Thanksgiving week, whatever works best for you all.
Any proposals? I know we're having fiscal court actually on Wednesday, the 26th at 9 a.m. I think. So, you know, if you all wanted to try to do November 25th, Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., would that work for everybody?
That's fine for me, yes.
If Billy can't, I can do it. That's no problem.
Okay.
That work for Scott and the team.
Yeah, John, Phil, I think that works for us, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll call it, we'll do a special call then on Tuesday, the 25th at 10 a.m.
Perfect.
I'll update the invite for next month to reflect that.
Thank you.
That said, then, that concludes our agenda. There'll be a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that. Thank
All
you.
those in favor, press please to leave the meeting. Have a good
Thank you all.
Thank you.
You.
See you next month.
one.